And that was Tricky texting me, by the way.
You are listening to Trophy Horse with your host, Tricky Mick, Alex, I Yield to No One,
Steve,
and Sid.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Trophy Horse. This is episode 408. I'm your host this week, Alex, and I am joined by, well, pretty much always, 99% of the time, I Yield to No One.
99 problems, and I don't miss shows really. It sucked.
You tried. You put in a good effort, and we can all appreciate that.
I get an E for effort, maybe.
Yeah, and you've got to have some weeks off, because, we've all got things going on, birthday parties, like games, like kids' sports games, like club activities, big events, all that kind of stuff. So, if somebody has to take a week off, we like to give them that time. Everyone around here has accrued enough PTO to pay time off in order to take some vacations every once in a while.
Yes, agreed.
And also, I've noticed on the agenda that Daryl's trophy count is on there, so I'm guessing that Tricky either forgot to erase it, or he doesn't mind actually having Daryl's trophies read.
Well, I updated them because they were there, so...
Well, thank you for doing that, because while I created the agenda, I completely forgot to update the trophies, mostly because I've been playing games that I'm not earning trophies in, but still having fun, and that's the way you really enjoy video games. Alright, well, let's start with the same way we always do this week, which is our updated trophy counts. Tricky is level 52 with a total trophy count of 12,217 and a platinum count of 213. Is that up from last week?
It is. I think
More
it was
of those Japanese visual novels.
It has to be. It was up to, I'm pretty sure. I think it was 211 last week.
I like that you posted the Sailor Moon gif in our group chat, and he asked if that was another visual novel that he could platinum. I really hope that Tricky, who is around our age, knows what Sailor Moon is, because we all grew up and Sailor Moon was one of those cartoons one of those animes on Cartoon Network. I don't know how you could have missed it.
I don't know either.
Unless you lived in a log cabin out in the woods, or your parents only let you watch Disney movies.
That'd be one way of missing it.
Yeah. I am level 31, total trophy count of 6,924, and a platinum count of 102. Steve is level 16 with a total trophy count of 2,220 and a platinum count of 11.
You forgot 101 games.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah. First time ever I forgot about that. I was trying to speed right through. I, Alex, have 102 platinums and 101 games because I don't want to cheat anybody because I got the cross-save platinums on Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. Sid is level 39 with a total trophy count of 9,260 and a platinum count of 169. And Daryl is at level 44 with a total trophy count of 9,741 and a platinum count of 177. Sid was at one point the ringleader of all of us Trophy Horse with the many platinums that he had accrued, but Sid's enjoying games more these days and played he once, and he was smart to get out when he did, because he knew what was coming. He knew Tricky was going to go on this full storm of just earning crappy trophies.
Well, yeah, we knew it was coming. Sid's still the man.
Sid's still the man, and hopefully we can all just sit down and play games we enjoy playing instead of reading a trophy straight from a trophy guide and clicking the little buttons and going the little directions that we got to do to get the trophies. Play games that you want to play, and play them because you want to play them.
Exactly.
Yield.
Yeah.
In the spirit of that, the spirit. It's Halloween.
Spooky.
It's, well, not quite Halloween, but it's spooky month. It's October. We're getting closer to Halloween. What have you been playing?
Well, can I do my trophy count first?
Oh, I read everyone else's, but I usually make you read your own. So how about you tell us what your trophies are, and if you've earned any in any of the games you've been playing this week?
I've earned one trophy this week. Ooh.
One more than me. The lack of trophy earning on this show is quite eerie.
It is. I am a level 28 with a trophy count of 5886 and a platinum count of 91. So, to answer your first question of what I've been playing, I fired up some Rocket League. And
you've been playing the Haunted Hallows, haven't you?
I did. I played, earned some candy corn. God,
let's talk a little bit about the Haunted Hallows.
All right, let's talk about that.
I love the presentation of it. If you don't know, it's a Rocket League has kind of doing a cross promotion with
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. They've got like the whole like intro screen, like the start screen is updated, and they've got the music and like the intro, like the actual like commercial for the Haunted Hallows. Actually, the thing where like the Stranger Things logo comes together, like at the beginning, like all the letters come in like creepy red font. It's got that, except it spells out the Haunted Hallows. So the presentation for this has been excellent. I love the new field that they have, which was like the farmland. I don't know if that's the actual name. The farmland, and
it's like the
it,
farmland, but it's with the Stranger Things touch to it.
It's the upside down version of the farmland, and you see the mind flayer in the background, which is really cool. Because it even tells you at the loading screen, hey, beware of the mind flayer. So, like, as someone who burned through Stranger Things, like, every season that's come out, and who is a big fan of it, I love the integration of this, and I love the presentation. It's all very well done. I will say, though, that as fun as Rocket League is, it's as fun as ever. I'm not super into a lot of the rewards they created for this event. Like, I ended up buying the six that I wanted with the candy corn that I accrued. You know, and I was busting my balls to get all those candy corn to be able to purchase them. But not a lot of the rewards, like, it's like I feel like the summertime rewards and the Radical Summer, and even some of the holiday ones in the past, are more enticing than the ones they put out for this particular event.
To me, the coolest reward out of that was the leaf paint scheme, where
and the spider one, where they're kind of dynamic, where they are flowing across your car at all times.
I thought that was the coolest one. So I think if I counted up of the ones that I would purchase, I think I needed like 1,000 candy corn. So I'm just gonna play on and off up to November 4th, get as much candy corn as I can, and then like on November 3rd or November 4th, go in and be like, I want that, and I want that, and I want that. I played a few games once. I haven't dived back into it yet. I've been messing with some other stuff. Played some World of Warship Legends.
Hold on, Yield. Sorry, I had to go let the cat out because the cat was crying. I didn't want the cat to get all up in the recording. As much as, we all love animals.
Well, yeah.
Don't need to be editing that out.
No.
But, I think the first reward that I bought from the Haunted Hallows was the Starcourt Mall wheels that they had.
Oh, that's the second one I want. Yeah, those are pretty slick.
And then I bought the banner, the Demogorgon banner. Not the name, not the title, but the banner with, the little Demogorgon, pedal head on it, which is really cool. So, I mean, they did have some really awesome things, like the dynamic skins for the cars that you mentioned. But, overall, I looked at the rewards ahead of time. It's like, okay, I've clearly defined what I want. It started on the 14th. It runs till November 11th. So you've got plenty of time to do some more work in Rocket League if you need to get, accrue some more candy corn. But yeah, I don't know. I was a little disappointed with the rewards they put out. Great integration of the IP into Rocket League. I love the cross promotion. It seems perfect.
I agree with that.
But yes, World of Warship Legends, sir.
So yes. So I've been playing some World of Warship Legends. They opened up a Halloween event. It's a player versus environment. So they put 5 ships together, and you can pick between a destroyer, a cruiser, and a battleship. And you can only use one ship every half hour. So once you use that ship, there's a half-hour cooldown time, unless you want to spend 70,000 credits, 75,000 credits, which I'm just like, man, I'll wait. So you have to escort the Transylvania. It's a sailboat, so to speak, and it takes either one path to the north of the map or one path to the south of the map. And then these zombie battleships just randomly keep coming out, and you're tasked with keeping the ship moving. And then there's catapults that are launching fireballs at you or the ship. So you have to get the ship from there to the portal at the other side of the map. And you've got basically 5 objectives. Defeat the boat at the end, the battleship at the end, which is Rasputin. Complete it with 50% health. Take out all the battleships. take out all the catapults, and not let the ship stop. The Transylvania has basically a green circle around it, that if your ship is inside of it, it'll heal it. But if an enemy ship gets into it, it stops. So I was playing that, trying to get all 5 stars. I was able to do that.
At this point, do we just expect Halloween events for every game that comes out? Because, maybe they fit better within certain communities than others, but I know that Borderlands just launched one. I know that, obviously, Haunted Hallows is going on for Rocket League. Crash Team Racing has their Spooky Grand Prix going on. And as you just talked about, World of Warships Legends, which is a game that I wouldn't think would have a Halloween event, is actually participating in that this year. So is it kind of one of these things where we expect, Halloween's just one of those holidays that we expect something from the community extra?
It seems to be leaning that way, especially on your online heavy games. I think it's kind of to keep the community engaged. Hey, we're doing a special theme, and you get extra special rewards for doing it, to kind of keep it fresh, to keep people coming back. Which I've enjoyed it. It was something different. So I've been playing that. Fired up some Wreckfest to work through, working towards the platinum in that. And, let's see, that. I think I fired up some Borderlands 3, and lately, the last couple of days, I fired up Sniper Elite V2 on my 3 to start my final playthrough to get that platinum. And I'm dying. A lot.
You gotta earn that platinum. They're not just gonna hand it to you.
They're not handing it to me. I have to earn it. But
it's not like Halloween candy. No one's just gonna hand it to you.
Nope.
Although I guess you gotta come up with every baller-ass costume for somebody to give you candy.
That's true.
Yeah. If someone comes up to my door and's like, hey, I have a mop. I'm Perry Saturn from the WWE. Give me candy. I'm like, fuck you. That's a terrible costume. Put some more thought into it. Sorry, tangent. I'm not really that angry about Halloween.
But you are about giving away your candy.
Well, okay. Well, do you all give out candy yield, or are you like popcorn or apples or pretzels or some other treat like that?
I don't celebrate Halloween.
That's fine. Only in the Haunted Hallows. Only in Rocket League.
Yeah, I participate in the video game community Halloween stuff, but I don't pass out candy or anything like that. I've thought about it.
So wait, if we drive by your house, there's not going to be makeshift gravestones with all the trophy horse names on it?
No.
That would be a great reference, but no one in your neighborhood would probably get it.
I take that back. I do have an inflatable pumpkin outside.
How big is this inflatable pumpkin?
It's about 4 foot tall.
That's a pretty good sized pumpkin. If you're not going to celebrate Halloween, why have that big ass pumpkin on your lawn?
Well, because I like doing a little bit of outdoor decoration, so I got an inflatable pumpkin for right now.
You're the opposite of me, sir. We want to do outdoor decorations, but we never end up doing it, so we'll put a few things around the house, but we still go out and trick-or-treat and leave a bowl of candy out for people at our on our stoop. And
then for Thanksgiving, I got a 6 foot tall inflatable turkey. It goes outside. For Christmas, I decorate a lot more, but...
Does your neighborhood have a decorating contest for Christmas, or you all just do it for the hell of it?
They do. They actually had a Halloween one this year. And they have a Christmas one. I don't ever get involved. My outside decoration involves a couple of inflatables and light and silhouettes in the window that light up. That's as far as I've gone right now. I haven't really got any icicle lights or anything to go out, other lights to go outside.
All right, we've gone far from the agenda.
Just a little.
Reel it back in. We all love the holidays. We love celebrating, but let's reel it back in. Yield, did you have anything else you wanted to finish on as far as what you're playing? I know you're talking about Wreckfest and how it was killing you to try to get that platinum. Anything else beyond that?
No, that's it.
All right, well, let's get into our topics. Oh, well, I guess I should say what I've been playing.
What have you been playing?
Well, I don't really want to bore you all with what I've been playing because it hasn't changed. On and off, some of the Switch, but, mostly on the PlayStation. After I finished my Haunted Hallows event, I got enough candy corn to buy all the items I wanted in Rocket League, so I had my fun there. And I've gone back, I've been playing the Spooky Grand Prix and Crash Team Racing, and I guess I'll give my overall thoughts on that. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was the overall best Grand Prix they've released, even though it's the fourth one that they've released post-launch. Great, introducing 3 new characters, Nina Cortex, Embryo, and Komodo Mo. The best set of characters they released post-launch. The best costumes that they've released post-launch. I mean, some really great skins. Werewolf Tiny, Monster Fake Crash, Ragdoll Nina, which makes me always think of Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, one of my favorite movies. And just some other really good ones, like Witch Tana. So there's a lot of great skins in there. The characters they brought back into the series are really great. The track, Nina's Nightmare, it's a lot of fun. It's very spooky. It's kind of like at this haunted manor with like this bog and these fields with scarecrows and windmills surrounding it. It's pretty cool. There's a giant like spider pumpkin or pumpkin spider in the middle of the level that you have to watch out for because he'll crush you with his legs. It's a pretty cool level. The only thing that disappointed me is I feel like it should have been a little longer, and the section where you actually go into the manor at the end of the level, it's a little bit too short. I thought they could have done a little bit more with that. It really cool if they would have done like a spiral staircase up to the top of the manor and have you hit like a turbo pad at the top and then shoot off the top of the manor and back onto the track to go through the starting gate and all the fields with all the scarecrows and stuff. I thought that would have been really cool. But I mean, overall, it's a really good Grand Prix, the best one they've released yet. But yeah, that's all I've been playing, and let's hop into our topics, our news for the week. So, Dreams is a game we really haven't talked a lot about here on the show. It came out last April, which I will admit I didn't even know that Dreams was out, which tells you a lot. But Media Molecule, I thought this story was really cool because Media Molecule has always kind of pushed the bar as far as games development and like what you can do with their games. And in a lot of games, just giving you like a suite of tools to create your own things, and far surpassing anything that you could create in any other game before. Like I was just happy growing up most of the time making a creator wrestler, or I'm happy now just slapping some decals or some tires on a car in Rocket League. But what you can do in Media Molecules games, especially Dreams, is pretty damn impressive. And what they're talking about now, and the information comes from an interview that with gamesindustry.biz, and read this on IGN as well. At the View conference in Turin, Italy, Media Molecule's co-founder and art director Karim Etuni was talking about how they are looking to create a commercial license for intellectual property created within Dreams, basically games created within Dreams, and allowing creators to take those games outside of Dreams and put them on other platforms. Now, we don't know exactly what that means, if that means smartphones or computers. I would assume that it doesn't mean the Xbox and Nintendo consoles. But Etuni also did confirm that eventually the games will be coming, or Dreams will be coming to PC and Mac, so eventually you'll see the creations on there anyway. But yeah, it's just a really cool idea that they want people, traditionally we think of PlayStation as very like walled off, kind of like this garden where they keep everything in and they don't really let a ton of stuff funnel out. But if people can, if they, the stuff that you create in Dreams is considered your IP that you can take elsewhere, I think that's a really awesome idea. Obviously, if there's a commercial license, you're going to have to purchase that commercial license in order to take stuff out of the game, I would assume. But it's cool that it's not just staying in one game and, that you can also use it beyond that. Use it for portfolios, use it for like work, like, I don't know, like even work purposes to show off some kind of like portfolio that you've created and your ability to design, like graphic design. That's all really cool to give people the freedom to do that. Obviously, freedom with certain restrictions, but I mean, what do you think about this idea of being able to take things from Dreams? Because I mean, we thought Little Big Planet was a huge step in like being able to create the freedom to create in that game that we had.
That's pretty cool. I mean, when it gets to PC, imagine what you can do with it. A buddy of mine had Dreams. I think it was when it was in the either early access or the open beta. And some of the things people had in there was like it's a game within a game, really. I played one that was like a Star Wars-esque game where you're flying around, just destroying ships, dodging asteroids. Remember Marble Madness back in the day, Alex, for the NES?
Yeah, on the NES.
All right, there was a marble. I shouldn't say 100% like Marble Madness, but it gave you the Marble Madness feel where you were a marble rolling around a level and rolling on switches and, solving puzzles that way to get to the next level. Raise the water, lower the water, turn the light on here, make the light ricochet. I mean, it was just, wow, what you could do in there. So to be able to do something like that and then go to a college or a job interview or a game developer and go, look, this is what I can do. I think that's amazing.
Some of the other cool things to come out of GameIndustries.biz's interview with Atuni. Actually, before we get into that, I do want to read a quote from Atuni. But step one is to show our intent. So from the very beginning, we are doing this commercial concept, which means that everything you do in Dreams is yours. You can use it. People in the Dreams community have already been using it to make graphic design, album covers, and stuff like that, using it for their portfolios and show reels. Totally, the answer is yes. We have plans, features, and dreams and of our own, and we want to make it go to the 11th degree so that people can celebrate their creations completely. Atuni talked about the goal for this game is to last 20 years, which...
That's insane.
I mean, this isn't just like a... you think, people will still bust out their SNES and play some games from that. People will still bust out the original Smash Brothers and play that. But, this is a game that's very heavily based on, a multi-person aspect. I don't want to say multiplayer necessarily, but you're relying on a community. It's not a single-player game. You're relying on a community to upload content and creations, and people to be able to download that and bring it into their world and play through it, and be able to share their own creations. So the fact that this game could have the support for 20 years, it's a bold goal, but it's also nice that they can say that Media Molecule is like, hey, we want this to last for a long time, so we're going to continue to support it. That's an amazing thing for them to do, and a lofty goal, but if they can do it, I say shoot for the stars.
Oh, absolutely.
Atuni also talked about a pro version of Dreams with an expanded tool set, which would also be really cool. Yeah, but in the world of creating video games and selling video games to people, I think the idea that someone can create something within your space and using your tools and your engine to create something and then call it their own, giving people a very foot in the door way to graphic design. I think that's really great for Media Molecule to not only to want to support a game for 20 years, but also to encourage people to take their stuff elsewhere. So while I may not play all that many of Media Molecule's games, I have to admit that I love what they're doing for the game industry, and I appreciate their contributions very much.
Oh yeah, when I first heard about Dreams, I was just kind of like, whatever. And then, like I said, playing that open beta was like, wow, and this is just an open beta.
Well, and ever since, for a while there, it was kind of all quiet on the Sony front. They had released, Days Gone, they had released Dreams, God of War had been out for a while, and we were like, well, where's Sony? Sony didn't go to E3. Now Sony's ball is starting to roll. They're starting to get this boulder that's just collecting steam. Ever since they announced that they bought Insomniac, good news is coming out of Media Molecule. They had a big media blowout for The Last of Us 2, which is a little bit dampened by some recent news that The Last of Us 2 will be delayed until May. So it was originally supposed to come out in February of next year. It's instead going to come out in May, which is a little disappointing, but it's 3 months, and to be honest, Neil Druckmann, executive director of the game, or creative director of the game, I should say, basically said, hey, we need more time to put the polish on it that we want, which definitely we can all respect. We've talked about it 1,000 times on the show. If you need to delay a game, especially if it's only 3 months, that's not a big deal. Delay it. One of the concerns that IGN did write about, Jonathan Dornbrush was talking about how The Last of Us delay could affect Ghost of Tsushima. And basically, Ghost of Tsushima is kind of in this place where we don't really know what to expect from it. We know that it's it looks really good, and we know it's probably going to come out next year. It's been affirmed and reconfirmed that Ghost of Tsushima will be coming to the PS4, although it still also has the chance to come to the PS5 as well, a la The Last of Us Remastered, which came to the PS4 after it originally launched on the PS3. But they are concerned, IGN, and in the article written by Jonathan Dornbrush, is a little concerned and unsure of what this means for Ghost of Tsushima, as in, will its release date be pushed back, especially if it's not a launch title for the PS5? Where does it fall in with a lot of holiday games coming out, some games coming out later spring next year or slated for later spring. So basically, he just talks about how it could either come out near the PS5 or sometime in the late summer / early fall. So I don't want to read everything that he wrote, but if you want to read it for yourself, go to IGN and read how The Last of Us 2 Part 2's delay could affect Ghost of Tsushima, and just read up all about it. So, Yield, how do you think, or if you think at all, that the delay of The Last of Us Part 2, since it's also a PS4 exclusive, Ghost of Tsushima is a PS4 exclusive, they're both supposed to come out next year, how do you think that affects Ghost of Tsushima?
Well, originally when I heard you say that, I was like, that's kind of a silly assumption. But then I heard his reasoning, and I'm like, you know what? I'm silly for thinking that. You probably wouldn't want both those big games to come out at the same time because you would kill some of the fan base. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, The Last of Us 2, like, Ghost of Tsushima is a new IP. Yeah. Last of Us 2 is proven. It's like it's hailed and praised as one of the best story-based games of all time, and definitely one of the best PlayStation games of all time. So, I mean, like, you don't have to be a business major to look at a slate of games from a platform holder and say, okay, here are 2 AAA releases. We probably don't want to release them with a week of each other because either they're both going to cannibalize each other's sales, or one of them is going to lose out and eventually not sell until it becomes like a greatest hits.
I'm one of the ones that, as of right now, I'm buying both games. But if they both come out at the same time, you may not have the time to delve into both games equally, if you get what I'm saying. So the delay for The Last of Us to what was it? Spring, May.
It's May, yeah.
May, which actually is good because there's no releases in the summer.
Typically not.
Typically not. Rockstar tends to do their stuff in the summer, and it really works for them because that's the only big game to play. So now I would say that if they were kicking around an idea of a release date for Ghost of Tsushima, it's probably going to be fall, if not late fall holiday. That way, The Last of Us 2 releaseness has been kind of, weighing down.
There is an issue with that theory, Yield, in that the PlayStation 5 comes out next year holiday, and are they going to want to promote Ghost of Tsushima alongside a new platform? Now, not PlayStation 5 is going to sell out everywhere. It's going to be really hard to find.
Yeah.
Because new consoles, they always sell out, and unless you are a witch doctor or you pre-order it way ahead of time, you're not going to get your hands on one. So there's still going to be people that own the PlayStation 4 through the holiday season. But
I'm one of them.
The marketing focus, are you going to try to market Ghost of Tsushima alongside the PS5 and the new games for that, and the launch games for that? I think it's more reasonable that you see PlayStation 5 versions of The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, because while Sony has reaffirmed that both of these games are going to be on PlayStation 4, they've never said that they're not going to be on the PlayStation 5 too, and we've seen more of that. You go from Sony to Nintendo. We talked about The Last of Us Last of Us Remastered earlier for the PS4, and you also have like a lot of the Zelda games bridged between 2 consoles. Breath of the Wild did it between 2 consoles. Twilight Princess did it for 2 consoles. So it's more and more. It's not a common thing these days, but it's an easy way for them to sell a new console. If say it's like, hey, I'm not going to buy these 2 games for the PlayStation 4 because I want to save money for the PlayStation 5. If you've got people who want to play them and you can launch them for both consoles, it's easy money for you.
Well, yeah. So let me pose this question to you then. So let's say Ghost of Tsushima launches in August. All right. And Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima are going to come out on the 5. Do they come out as launch games, or do you hold off and wait till February, March?
I think they come out as launch games. And the reason I say that is because I have no idea what's coming out for the PlayStation 5, and everyone always complains about the launch titles for a console because there's usually one big game, maybe one, follows down the road a couple months, but there's always that complaint, and Sony's gonna have to have something to come out for the PlayStation 5 to play right away. People will still buy it, but then you don't want the backlash of, hey, there's nothing to play on my new console. So until I know something for sure else is being worked on, unless they're going to come out and say, oh, if they have Horizon 2 ready for the launch of the PlayStation 5,
and that's the only way you can play it,
then I think that they wait on remastered versions of Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. Then I see them falling into like spring, summer of 2021. But if they don't have Horizon 2 going into launch, then, because the next Sony Santa Monica game I can't imagine will be ready by the launch of the PlayStation 5, they're going to have to do The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. I originally thought, before I had read about it being confirmed for the PlayStation 4, I thought Ghost of Tsushima would be the launch title, because it's a big AAA game. It's from a respected developer in Sucker Punch. It's a new IP. It'd be a great way to shine the spotlight on that game and on Sucker Punch. But now that it's kind of weird that it's now, oh yes, it's still coming to the PS4, because then you're like, okay, well, what's the big game for the PS5? I think it would be easy for them, given how much time they've had to develop The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, to basically have versions for the PS5. Especially since these are like Sony-owned studios and they have like access to the best engines and Sony tech that anyone in the world has.
Well, and they've been in development for a while. You're putting them out basically almost at the end of the 4 life cycle. So you're going to be pulling pretty much everything you can out of the 4 for it. And then, so it's not that hard to imagine to make it for the 5, because, you're just now learning to do it for the 5, like Tomb Raider and Last of Us did. So, I think it's quite possible, or feasible. I agree with you with Ghost of Tsushima. I thought that when it was originally announced, I thought, awesome, it looks amazing, can't wait to play it on the 4, and then we didn't hear from it. It was, a solid year? It wasn't at last year's E3, or this year's E3, and it was like, you know what, that's going to be a 5 launch game, because you haven't heard about it.
Well, and they can't release it after they can't release it after 2019. They have to get it in before holiday 2019, so only time will tell. But I think it is an interesting question posed by IGN. But I think that one of the workarounds for that is that the games eventually come to the PlayStation 5 as well.
I agree with that. That makes a lot of sense.
All right, and before we get out of here, we got one more news story to share with you all, and this sure to bring a smile to your face, especially if you're a Fallout fan, because we know that Fallout has not been treated the best by Bethesda in recent years. So, Fallout 76 launched with a lot of problems, a lot of bugs, people were pissed about it, and just didn't live up to the promises that people felt that were put out there by the developers. So, Bethesda has announced that there will be a service called Fallout First. It's a $100 a year subscription service, and reading from an article by Colin Stevens on IGN.com, this subscription service, is pissing people off probably, surprisingly, even more than Fallout 76 itself, because what it's looking to do is turn a multiplayer game into a single-player game. Yeah, so ever since the launch of Fallout 76, people have been asking to play with mods, people have been asking to play in private worlds. Basically, Fallout has always been a single-player first experience. Like, Fallout 3 is probably the most beloved of any of them, and guess what? It's a single-player experience that you can just go through on your own. So, I mean, it feels like them having people pay for the ability to turn the game into what it should have been in the first place, go from a multiplayer game to a single-player game. It's a bit ridiculous, and an irate fan, we can only assume this is a Fallout fan, has purchased the web domain for Fallout First before Bethesda could get their hands on it. Now, people have really been loving this. They've been commenting overall very positively about this. They see it as hilarious. It's a parody website for Fallout 76 and for the Fallout First subscription service, basically lampooning Fallout 76 and Bethesda for all the crap that's gone on with this game. The domain is owned by some random person and not Bethesda. So the name of the person there's not a real name, but the screen name of the person is Count Chappie. I have not checked this out yet. I'll definitely probably check it out. But yeah, Yield, how do you feel about this basically turning the domain that people would first think to visit for Fallout First, and the domain is actually falloutfirst.com. How do you feel about some rando user purchasing this and using it to lampoon the company that is trying to develop a subscription service for the game that is being represented on the website?
A part of me thinks I should be mad, but I just find this absolutely funny. Brilliant!
I mean, we love parody accounts. We love Kazurai's parody account on Twitter.
Oh, absolutely. This is awesome. The oversight to not purchase the domain name and the forethought of this person to purchase it and then take out his frustration on a game and a series that he dearly loves. And just lay it all out there of all the issues with the game is just
tickles your funny bone.
It does. I'm grinning ear to ear.
I mean, as much as people bemoan Activision and EA, I mean, there is a lot of negativity flowing towards Bethesda, not just for this, but for a lot of things, because their games generally come out very buggy, and require patches. It's like, this has been an accepted thing that they just do, and people continue to buy their games. The Fallout series has really dropped in recent years, and more and more fans are speaking out against it and just not happy with the direction that the series has gone, the franchise has gone. And I can totally understand that. And Bethesda's not doing anything to help themselves. I mean, $100 a year subscription service, I mean, I guess that's less than $10 a month, but I pay $13, $14 for Netflix. I'm not paying, and I get a ton of content laid at my feet, basically, via Netflix. I am not going to, I mean, I enjoyed Fallout 3. It's the only Fallout game I've ever played, but it's crazy to ask them to pay $100 a year to fix, basically, their giant fuck-up.
Yeah. It almost feels like it's pay for us to fix the game.
Yeah, I'm on the website now, falloutfirst.com, and there is a lot of cursing. Basically, the theme of the entire thing is F you, Bethesda. Yeah, there's a lot of cursing, a lot of negativity, a lot of just parody posts. Let me see if I can read one we're an uncensored show, so... So at the top of the screen, the first headline, the first little blog post type thing is Private Worlds, Scrap Boxes, and more coming to Fallout 76 with Fallout Fuck You First. What's included behind the Fallout Fuck You First paywall? And just all these different things. Yeah, there's even news on a sex tent. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor here, a lot of semicolon, parentheses, smiley faces. Yeah, I mean, this is gold. It even refers to the 1-year subscription as this stupid-ass membership. And, yeah, so please go check out falloutfirst.com. Even if you're not a fan of Fallout, it's like Splinter when he made a funny. This Count Chappie is out there doing Splinter's work and just making funnies. It's pretty good. I appreciate that. And just a very, very loud way to tell Bethesda, hey, we're not going to deal with your shit. Yield, I know you were having trouble loading stuff earlier on your computer. I'm assuming you can't load that page.
You are correct.
Well, again, the website is falloutfirst.com. Please go check it out, even just for a moment. It's pretty funny. Maybe not necessarily work, because I don't know what your work environment is, and, all the cursing, it may not be appreciated. But yeah, pretty hilarious, and keep doing God's work, Count Chappie. Or Count Chappie, sorry. And thank you to Colin Stevens at IGN for bringing us that hilarious news. We kind of brought it down a little bit with the delay of The Last of Us and not knowing where Ghost of Tsushima falls in there now, but we brought it back. We brought some laughs into the show, and I feel like we brought it around, and we can finally close this out with some confidence.
Let's clean this shit up.
Thank you all for joining us for yet another week of rousing housekeeping here on Trophy Horse. I will say that there's been some talk behind the scenes of shortening our housekeeping. I know there's a lot of time when we can have some witty banter and we can share a lot of jokes, and some people like it, but in general, I think it would be best if we kept a lot of that to more of our news topics and our banter before, and like housekeeping was shortened to kind of give you the important points. So if you see a shortened, more streamlined version of the housekeeping, don't be alarmed. We're just kind of looking to change things up a little bit. So this is maybe the last full blast housekeeping you get. But, yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to on the fly change it up. And, yeah. So, how can you contact us on the show? Well, we all have Twitters. There's also a Twitter account for Proven Gamer. It's at Proven Gamer. I am at Sonosaurus Rex. Yield is at IYieldToNoOne. Tricky is at TrickyMick. And Steven is at Batchild27. Plus, there's also always Sid, who's at Siderney. And unfortunately, I do not know Daryl's, or I would read Daryl's Twitter account here on the show. Maybe Yield while you're explaining some of the stuff later. I'll get back to that. All right. You can also contact us via email at trophyhorse@provengamer.com, as well as our phone number, which is 330-PROVEN9. If you don't know what that translates to, that's what we pay Yield for. Yield, what's that phone number?
330-776-8369.
If you like what we do here on Trophy Horse, please check out the other podcasts on the PG Podcast Network, which include PG Spoilers, which, according to Daryl, the flagship show of the Proven Gamer Podcast Network, as well as Nintendo Dual Screens with Steven and Andy, and the Game Stuff Podcast with Joe, Kalai, and Roberto. Finally giving Roberto some love for being an awesome host on Game Stuff. Again, many apologies to Roberto for not including him for many months in the shoutouts to the Game Stuff crew. Where can you find all these podcasts? Well, you can find them on the Apple Podcast, Stitcher, your various podcast apps, Google Play, TuneIn, and you can also find Nintendo Dual Screens and Trophy Wars on iHeartRadio and Spotify, and you can find Trophy Wars as well now on Pandora. Yield, how about you share the PlayStation 4 communities with our listeners?
So, the site has one called Proven Gamer. The show has one called T-Dubs Brothels, because Sony and Shuhei won't allow us to say whores no matter how you try. And I have one called the Platinum Guild. So, stop by, say hi.
Yield, do we have any shout-outs for the people in the Platinum Guild who have posted? Aren't we supposed to be getting to that sometime soon?
We should, and I was supposed to do it this week. And I just realized that I forgot. So, I'll write that down, and I'll do it next week. My bad.
Lordy, Yield, what are you doing to us, sir?
I'm playing video games.
In the spirit of Halloween, you're playing video games.
Yes.
Alright, well, we are proud here at ProvenGamer.com to be in a partnership with Humble Bundle. If you don't know what Humble Bundle is, you can go to HumbleBundle.com. Hey, imagine that. To check out all the things that they are offering for this month. Essentially, it is a charity initiative, and every month they take together bundles of digital media, also as well like physical media like books, mostly just like video games, PC side video games, and sell them at a reduced price. They bundle them together and allow you to pay a reduced rate to get all the games. Now, there are tiers to each bundle, so if you're trying to pay $2 to get 9 games, well, you'll only get a few of those games, but if you bump it up to 10 or 20, whatever the requirement is to earn all the games, then you'll get a really good value of, a lot of times the games are valued at over $250 in a single bundle, and it is a charity initiative, so the money that you at least part of the money that you donate or at least put into the bundle that you're buying goes to charity. So it's always good to give as much as you can. You can sign up for the electronic newsletter to get regular updates as well. Yield, do you want to do Amazon? I feel like I was going to fuck that up, and I need to pass it to you so I don't fumble it.
Okay. So, the Amazon's just not another river in South America. Oh, I had to do that. It's always tricky. So, we are partnered with Amazon. So if you could, slide on over to ProvenGamer.com. On the side of the screen, there's an ad for Proven Gamer. There's an ad for Amazon. You click on that ad, takes you straight to Amazon. Do your ordering as you normally would. And by doing that, Proven Gamer gets a little kickback. It helps us keep the lights on, buy us comfy little recording chairs, put AC in the recording studio. So yeah.
I'll have you know that my girlfriend, Ashley, she bought the comfy chair that I'm sitting in. Mostly so she could play World of Warcraft on the PC for herself. But it's something we can share as I podcast at the computer. And a little update. I should have known this because I've said this name probably, close to 50 times on the show. But if you want to follow Daryl on Twitter, his Twitter account is @ResidentDaryl. Because Daryl loves the Resident Evils.
Yes.
If you want to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/ProvenGamer. Tricky set up a whole bunch of tiers with rewards, and I know he's been trying to rework those a little bit. So if you do want to support the show monetarily, just give us a little, help us out a little bit financially. Go to patreon.com/ProvenGamer to see what you can earn by supporting the show. And as always, if you can't if you can't support us, with a little money via Patreon, we always ask that you rate us on any, website or platform that you get the shows from, or just simple word of mouth. Tell your friends, your family about Trophy Whores. We really appreciate the word of mouth marketing. It's the best way to get things out there. I know that I give a lot more credence to things that my friends and my family support as opposed to some jacko online. So definitely spread the word of Trophy Whores if you possibly can. It's probably the best possible way to support us. Also want to give a shout out to our Patreon producers, CJ Anderson and Felicia Steff. And Extra Life is getting closer and closer. We're nearing the end of October. And with Extra Life being on November 2nd, that means that it's next weekend. It kind of snuck up on us, Shield. I know we talk about it every week, but... So, if you want more information on Extra Life, it's still not too late to sign up. You can go to extra-life.org. You can join a team. You can create a team and have other people join, or you can play solo. Pick a Children's Miracle Network hospital to represent for Extra Life. Tell people that, hey, will you please sponsor me for my Extra Life gaming marathon? The benefit is that all of the money that I collect goes 100% of the money that you collect goes to the Children's Miracle Network hospital that you are opting to represent. The motto for Extra Life is play games, heal kids, and it is the ultimate win-win situation in the history of the Earth. Again, that's next weekend, and Extra Life is a gaming marathon all day. People are going to be streaming on Twitch. I'm sure Tricky's going to be all over the place on Twitch. So definitely look out for what we'll be doing for Proven Gamers Extra Life shenanigans. Well, Yield, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. I believe that we will end with some shout-outs.
Would you like me to go first?
Well, I'm going to take a bite of beef stew, so I would really appreciate it if you would.
Okay. So, I will give a shout-out to the fans, the pimps and the madams of the whoredom. A shout-out to the Platinum Guild. I have not forgotten about you. I just got lazy this week. And forgetful.
Well, Yield, I don't mean to call you out. But
No,
we're all lazy more than just this week.
Well, that's true, but I was really lazy this week. See, here's what happened. I'll give you a little.
I'm imagining you laying on your back, scratching your belly like Baloo from the Jungle Book.
Oh yeah, the game's really good. I'm off next weekend because we got birthday obligations like all weekend. I thought it was this weekend, so I kind of checked out. I'm sure Alex can attest to you. I put in the chat, "Hey, I'm busy this weekend. I'm out." So I kind of checked out. I'm going about my week. I'm doing my thing. A couple days later, I'm like, no, that's next weekend. And then I didn't completely check back in. So totally my bad.
It's all right. You're here. You're physically recording with me, so we can still put out a quality show for the listeners.
We have.
I just thought as I'm eating this beef stew that one of the great things, when you live in the Midwest, winter's not all that great. There's not a lot of pros to it, but one of the cool things is it means it's soup season.
Yes.
And
chili
more broccoli cheddar, more chicken noodle, more beef stew, more chili. Yeah, we're getting serious here, folks.
There's nothing better than reheated chili and a cheeseburger.
The culinary delights of winter. And that's I feel like in the winter, you can just make big batches of stuff. You have the power to do that in the summer too. But soup lends itself more to making big batches and then just being lazy for the rest of the week and just eating leftovers. That's what Thanksgiving's all about. It's eating leftovers. Oh, and the whole family time and quality time aspect too. That as well.
Yeah. I'm like a bear when it comes to the winter. Eat and sleep.
Do we need to change your name? I yield to cold weather.
No. I still go out in the cold weather. I'm just like a polar bear, I guess. I eat, I sleep, but I'll go out in the snow. Anyway,
you're the nicest polar bear that I've ever met because, quite frankly, they will fuck you up.
They will. Yeah.
Okay, Yield, I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, that's all right. That's it. I think that's it. We'll stop there.
All right, well, I want to give a shout out, as always, to the listeners, the fuel to the fire of this show of yours. Thank you all very much for continuing to support our show on whatever platform you choose to listen. Without you all, we would not be on so many different mediums or different avenues where people could find us, and we certainly wouldn't be past 400 episodes. So thank you all very much. You all are the lifeblood of Trophy Whores, even if we're the assholes talking every week. But I would encourage you all, please, if you want to write in, if you want to contact us, please get more involved with the show. We always love hearing from our listeners, so we want to create we love the community feel of Proven Gamers, so please, just send us some questions, send us some quizzes like Homer does, and just more interaction. We would love to hear from you guys a little more. Last but not least, I want to give a shout out to my loving girlfriend, Ashley. Thank you very much, sweetheart, for always supporting me and allowing me to go do, Pokemon Go lure parties out in the chilly fall weather and just kind of sit down by myself and play some Crash Team Racing on the weekend so I can earn those Wampa coins to get them baller-ass Halloween skins. I love you, honey, and just thank you for just always being there and just always being a fun and terrific partner. That is going to bring us to the end of the show. This has been episode 408 of Trophy Whores, and we hope that you're having a fantastic Halloween season. We will, obviously, this is going to be our last show before Halloween, so please be safe out there, have a good time, and dress up in some really cool, awesome costumes. We'd especially love to see, if you hear this and you want to post some costumes on the Trophy Whores Facebook group, please do, because we would love to see them. I can't say that I'm going to have a super cool costume, but we would love to see you all, and even share some of them on the show if we get enough. So, that's going to bring us to the end of episode 408, and as always, happy trophy hunting.
Happy Halloween!
Happy motherfucking Halloween. Get those Kit Kats and those Snickers bars and those Milky Ways.
And Reese Cups.
Real quick, Yield, before we get out of here.
Yo.
If you had to pick one candy bar to materialize in your hand right now, or not even a candy bar, like a piece of candy, like Skittles or Reese Pieces or whatever, if you could have it materialize in your hand right now, what would it be?
Reese Pieces.
That's a good choice. I have to say Snickers, because while I didn't grow up liking Snickers all that much, it's a time-tested classic candy bar that just grows on you with age. It's timeless. Snickers is like the Goonies. It never dies.
Save your last words, then read on me this. Save your last words. Save your last words, then read on me this. Save your last words, then read on me this. Save your last words, then read on me this. Save your last words, then read on me this.
The theme song is Venus by the band Even off their album Zenith. Permission granted by the band and 12 Stone Records. You can find them on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/evenphilippines.